So think about all the stories that have captivated you over your life. And if you really examine them, they're built on components. And I want to share with you 9 components that matter to stories. Now, not all 9 will be in every story. In fact, some stories only have 3 or 4 of these components. But once you understand these components, you'll think differently about storytelling. One element is something that we call once upon a time. It's the dramatic opening or the stage setter. Using that component well helps grip people into your story. Another is what I would call a worldview, or it's kind of your lens, your angle, your perspective on why the story matters. A third component that you're going to want to think about is something we call great characters. So who's the hero of your story? Who's the villain of the story? Who are ancillary characters who end up being important in the end? As you make the journey through this story, those characters are going to be what people pay attention to. Other things in a great story, number 4, challenging situations. So as you're telling your story, you have to be able to spell out what was the challenge, what was the thing that was hard. Conflict, drama, lessons learned. All 3 of those are important components that you're going to want to think about. Almost all stories have something important called new possibility. In the telling of the story, it opens your eyes up to something that you hadn't thought about before or didn't know about, or something that was going to become important to you as you went on. And the last element, of course, is happily ever after. What's the moral of the story? What's the ending of the story? Why does it matter for humanity? So now let's dig in on the making of your story. Now, some of you are natural-born storytellers for whom this comes very naturally. I think for the rest of us, we need a little bit of help. So the story I'm going to work on today is a story of Todd Holcomb, his story is a story of a 50-year-old who decided at 50 to completely change his career and pursue a new passion, which is he believes that the world really needs to be changed and that students, adolescents, teenagers need to be mobilized and taught how to do that. And so his story is about how he went from the profession he was in to studying how students and teenagers learn, and then how to activate students, largely through the schools that they go to act on the issues that they care about. So go back to your story, the topic of your story, and go back to the type of your story. And what I want you to do now is take out this worksheet with the 9 different components on it, take out a pen, and jot down the key thoughts you have for each of the components. Just let it flow. Capture any thought that comes to mind. And once you fill this worksheet out, you're going to see that certain components matter more than others. It's the ones that you've written the most interesting or most profound things. So go do that work now. I'm going to work a little bit more on Todd's story, and when we join back together, we'll put these components in an order that becomes a more powerful telling of the story that you want to express to others. So now you've spent a little bit of time with your story and this worksheet of components, and what I want you to do is take out a pair of scissors and cut them up into cards, because when they're in cards, you'll be able to look at these components in a new way. So for Todd, as an example, I pulled New Possibility, and it really talks about what he's been doing in education with students on projects for them to galvanize around the issues that matter to him and to them. Drama is another card that I filled out, and it's about, well, what is possible at age 50? How does one remake one's career at age 50 to do a totally different thing? Is it actually possible to begin again? Is the idea itself of empowering teenagers to change their world a crazy idea to start with? I filled out a worldview, which is, Todd says that everyone can change the world, but if you really want to change the world, you have to start young. So these are just some of the component parts of Todd Holcomb's story. Use a pair of scissors, cut yours up, and then put them out in front of you, because what you'll find is when you look at each component part and their relationship to each other, you'll see new patterns that are worth doing.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe to stay up to date on all of our latest videos.